Story 2. The Rat Man.
Yo.
This is not my tale, but a friend's. However, I felt like it needed to be told as it's truly horrifying, so much that my friend has told it to several people and every time has been reduced to tears purely through recounting what he saw. It was a very short story, and to him, I expect the whole encounter lasted a full length around 3 minutes. We live in London, and my friend was walking back from his local bus stop home at around 3 to 4 in the morning. He lives in the rural end of London, so the streets were almost always empty at that time of night. My friend was walking down his long road, and he noticed movement about 100 yards ahead. As he got closer, he noticed that there was what seemed to be a man rustling in a bin, lit quite brightly by an orange light of a lamppost. However, as my friend was still quite far away from him, he couldn't make out the man's clothes or face. What he did notice was from afar, the man was severely hunched and had twitchy and erratic mannerisms. Slightly creeped out but not worried, he carried on walking, preparing to pass the man. However, he did decide to cross, so he was on the opposite side of the road as he passed him. As he came within 20 yards, this is when one of the most terrifying moments of my friend's life occurred. My friend was making no effort to be quiet as he came close to passing the mysteriously twitchy figure that lurked across the road. As he came close enough to be audible, his footsteps startled what my friend now calls the Rat Man. Upon hearing his footsteps, the Rat Man, in a single twitch of the neck, turned to face him, at which point a severely deformed face was illuminated by the orange light above him. My friend describes it as rat-like, a pointed jawline that protruded out of his head, with a nose that followed suit. His mouth was small and wildly out of proportion to the rest of his face, while his eyes barely showed any glint of light in the lamp. At this point, my friend froze, a bewilderment and heart-stopping fear. They shared a moment of what seemed like sheer eye contact as my friend stood like a statue, and the Rat Man stared and twitched directly in his direction. After a short, terrifying moment, the man suddenly dashed after, making a noise that my friends find hard to describe. Somewhere in between a yelp and a cry, leaping with what seemed to be the dexterity of a parkour expert on a garden fence, while proceeding to leap from that taller fence that ran perpendicular to it. He then disappeared behind the large fence into a house's garden, all while barely making a sound. My friend recounts lying awake in his bed until dawn, listening for any noise outside that could be Rat Man. After all, he might well have still been lurking around in his row of gardens. My friend to this day finds it hard to tell the story, which I fully believe in the encounter. As I said, he cries every time he tells it. Most of the time it's when he tries to describe the man's features. Remember, neither my friend nor I believe that this was some kind of freak of nature where a man was actually part rat. What terrifies me the most was that this man was both deformed in a terrifying manner and surprisingly dexterous while just living on the street. It could have been mental illness involved as well. The point is, we don't know, and that's what's so terrifying about the Rat Man. So even though you're definitely 100% human, Rat Man, let's not meet. Okay, another person making fun of the way somebody looks.
I know we just talked about that. However, I know you don't like Harry Potter, but my first thought is Peter Pettigrew. Here is... So he, transforms into a rat. I'm like, what if you just caught Peter Pettigrew mid-transformation? They're in London anyway.
Yeah. See? There you go. Bada bing, bada boom.
Solved. This is Peter Pettigrew. Other than that, you might be being kind of mean to someone who might be a little bit deformed.
Yeah.
And is eating out of the trash can.
I thought of, and I know you don't play Stardew Valley, but there's a character in it, Linus, and he's homeless, and he lives in a tent at the top of a mountain in Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
And one of the cutscenes for his character development is you find him digging around in the trash, and he gets caught, and he gets scolded and reprimanded.
Yeah.
And you come out, and you're like, are you okay?
Yeah.
So, and he's like, don't make fun of me. But
maybe you should play Stardew Valley and learn some empathy, OP.
That's what I imagine. Immediately when OP said that he was scrounging around in the trash. I was like, this man is just hungry, and he might be homeless, and like something bad might have happened, and so he got like disfigured, or he got a lot of severe facial damage, and now he's just struggling.
This is what I'm imagining.
That's really sad. And this guy came up and he's like, ah! And he probably just like crushed his confidence.
Just witch!
Straight into the ground. This guy literally was like, ah! And that's really funny that I do imagine like a split moment where he kind of just like starts crawling on the wall.
Yeah!
Parkour!
I want to know when this was posted, because like maybe there was a whole parkour craze.
Yeah, I remember. It was when everyone was planking.
10 years ago. Yeah, this
would be when everyone
was planking and everyone was like kicking their feet around and yelling parkour. So
somebody said cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Got him!
I just think it's a guy who's down on his luck, he's scrounging for trash, and your friend rightfully got scared. I would also, get scared if I saw that, but
also, not to make fun of your friend for their trauma, but this man looked at you, squeaked, and ran away, and you think he's gonna like break into your house now?
Yeah, right.
Like he couldn't even handle you being like looking at him.
Yeah, he was like, ah!
If he ran after you, for sure.
Yeah, that would be a whole separate story. That would be a real scary if he ran and followed you home and started like crawling on the side of the houses and trying to get to you. You're like running down the street.
Yeah.
It's like one of those scenes you see the lights like woof, woof, and it like you just see like in the shadow him moving from building to building in the darkness. You just see him go across the street, and then he's climbing on the side of the wall.
Yeah, little rat squeaks as he's going.
That's a real scary story.
Yeah,
this guy
horrifying.
just digging through the trash and going, ah! And running away.
Yeah.
No, dog.
Also, if we're gonna be mean here, what does your friend look like that this person saw them and ran?
And now another thing too that kind of makes me sad. OP said that their friend cries when they describe what he looked like.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Got a case of the ugly.
I'm ugly and I am proud.
That's one of my favorite episodes. It's so funny.
It is a really good one, but it is so I think that's really sad.
Yeah. Oh.
If you enjoyed that little story, be sure to watch the full episode here.
And make sure you like, subscribe, and all that jazzy.
Jazzy? I see what you did there. Wait, what was that?